What's up guys, so Lego here with Dyna Demos. I'm going to be showing you a bit of chain maintenance, and of course I'm using AMSOIL chain lube. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. So here's everything I use to either inspect my chain or clean my chain. So I got the grunge brush right here. This is for cleaning your chain up. I got the chain cleaner, and I got a tape measure to measure the how tight the chain is. And then I got the AMSOIL chain lube, and I'll link all of this stuff and put it in the description so you guys can see it if you guys want to use this stuff. First thing I'm going to show you is what you should be checking on your chain before you go out and ride. And you don't have to do this on every ride, but let's say you're going to take your bike out for a really long ride. You know, you want to make sure that it's good to go. So this is what you're going to be checking. So right here I got the master link. So you always want to make sure, and you can actually do this before every ride, you want to make sure that your master link is intact, especially with these rivet styles. They shouldn't come off, but this is the weakest point of your chain. So you want to make sure that the rivets are still good. So you can see this is the rivet style master link right here. This is just a normal link. So you can see the difference. These are the ones that we put on. It's still intact, you know, the backside's still good. So every time I ride, I check my master link, and you can tell the difference. So this is a rivet style. You also got clip styles, but you probably shouldn't have it on your Harley, all right? So that's the difference. Always check it before you go out and ride. The next thing that I'm gonna check is I'm gonna make sure all my sprocket bolts, and these things are notorious for coming out, for bagging themselves out. So always make sure that they're flush. And an easy way to check them, you can just put your finger here, and if the washer spins, you know it's starting to back out, and you're gonna need to torque that thing down. Otherwise, it's gonna come out and it's gonna eat up your swing arm, all right? The last thing that I'm gonna check before I go out and ride is I'm gonna check how tight my chain is. So it should be 1 inch to 1.5 inches. And the way that you're gonna do that is you're just gonna pick a point, you're gonna pull your chain down, you know, not a lot of pressure, but don't be weak either. So you're gonna pull it down, and then you're gonna push it up. You're gonna take that measurement, and it should be about 1 inch to 1.5 inches, right? And that's what I check on my chain before I go out and ride. And if you do that, you know, you don't have to do it every time like I said, but if you're gonna go out on a really long ride, you're gonna wanna do that. So if your chain gets really dirty, you know, mine's not that dirty right now, but I'm just gonna show you guys how to clean it up. So right here, I got chain cleaner, and you can pick this up from probably any dealership. I got this from a place called Lejeune Motorsports. Any chain cleaner will do, you know. This one's Honda. I used to use this on my Suzuki, so it doesn't matter, whatever brand. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna spray the area you need to clean. You know, if you're cleaning your entire chain, just really spray it good. And then the reason we have the rear wheel off is so we can actually spin it, you know, make it easier. Now, you don't have to lift your rear tire off the ground, but if you lift your rear tire, it's gonna make it easier to move. So I'm not gonna clean my entire chain right now. I'm just gonna show you. So I'm gonna leave this on for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna start scrubbing it. After we waited for the chain cleaner to soak in, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna hit it up, and right here I got a grunge brush. So you could use any type of brush that is really non-abrasive. Like these are what are nylon bristles or whatever, right? You don't wanna use metal. So any brush would really do, just don't use the metal one. So you're just gonna clamp down on it, and you're gonna clean it. And you can see the difference already from where I scrubbed to where I didn't scrub. Oh, I kind of brought it back. So get in there and make sure you get in here, because that's where all of your dirt actually is. And then all I would do is I would just wipe it down. And you can already see the difference between where I actually cleaned it up and where I didn't clean it up. So that's how easy it is to clean. Now that we cleaned off the chain, what we want to do is we actually want to lubricate it. So you're probably wondering, man, what chain lube should I use? So I'm gonna use AMSOIL. The reason for that is I've already used this about 500 miles, and what's really annoying with other chain lubes is they sling off. And with AMSOIL chain lube, there's minimal slinging of the lube on the chain. And what happens if all that stuff just slings off is your chain's not gonna be lubricated anymore. And then what's the purpose of having this? So I've already read the back of this, and it's good for O, X, and Z chains. So the difference between those is this is an X-ring chain. So you got little O-rings in here, like little packings, and they help minimize friction, so you don't get as much wear in there. All right, so that's like what O, X, and Z chains are. They last longer, but they cost more, and you want to make sure that you get a chain lube that's good for that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to spray this on, right? And I would just spin this around, and then I would just keep going. But this side's already lubricated here, because as you can see, I probably rode this over 200 miles and it's still tacky. So that's how I know that this stuff is working, is it's still tacky. So what I would do is I would wait 15 minutes for this stuff to dry. And after that, you're good to ride. If you don't wait 15 minutes, then it's gonna sling off, and then you're not gonna have any lube there. So make sure you spray the face plates, and then you wanna make sure you spray the rollers too. When you should clean your chain and when you should lube your chain, if you notice like any corrosion on your chain, or let's say you just rode through a rainstorm and now the chain, all the lube's off of it. So what you're gonna wanna do after that is you're gonna wanna dry your chain first and then apply the lube to it. Or if you just notice your chain's extremely dirty, that's probably a good time. I try to do it, let's say before either a long ride or every 200 miles. So that's chain maintenance, and the reason that you need to clean your chain is you're gonna make it last longer, and chains are extremely expensive, so you wanna get the most life out of your chain. So again, I'm Lego here with Dyna Demos, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.